The quest for an elusive cure for baldness is undeniably a rollercoaster ride, brimming with exhilarating highs, crushing lows, and the all too frequent dramatic exit of key researchers in various projects. Each twist and turn in this journey adds to the intrigue, making it a captivating saga of hope and disappointment in the world of hair loss research. Ever since I have been in practice in the past 20 years, there have been several whispers doing the rounds of a cure just round the corner. And the common refrain, it's just 5 years away. And I'm sure many of you must have heard that before. Promises of breakthroughs around the corner, breakthroughs in cloning, in stem cell research, or gene therapy. And yet here we are, decades later, with the same toolkit, finasteride, Minoxidil. Modern medicine has come so far in so many other areas, but hair loss remains a stubborn holdout, immune to this 5-year prophecy of the cure being just around the corner. It was during the uncertain days of the COVID pandemic when I found myself sitting in front of the camera like now, compelled by the persistent encouragement by my subscribers. They urged me to go deep into this world of hair loss research, a topic that had captivated many minds who were grappling with their own struggles. And with a mix of hope and skepticism, I embarked on this journey, convinced that the promises made by various companies and researchers would lead to groundbreaking solutions. And the video link of my effort during the COVID pandemic is above. As I scoured through studies, spoke to various key researchers, since I had a lot of time during the COVID pandemic like everybody had, I saw that their enthusiasm was really infectious. They painted a picture of imminent breakthroughs that is soon going to change lives. I remember one researcher in particular whose eyes sparkled with the excitement of what research had in store for us as he discussed a new treatment that was just round the corner. And his optimism fueled my own, and I felt a surge of anticipation for what was to come. However, as time passed and the dust settled, reality soon began to sink in. The promises that once seemed so tangible and so reachable soon began to fade into the background, leaving behind only frustration, only disappointment. The treatments that were promised to revolutionize hair restoration never materialized. And the excitement that my channel subscribers once felt turned into a sense of betrayal, and I don't blame them. Today, on the threshold of 2025, we again find ourselves at the crossroads, 5 years after my previous video, crossroads of unfulfilled expectation. And I purposefully kept a gap of 5 years between these two videos to disprove the common refrain that the cure is 5 years away, which we all know is not the truth. It is now becoming painfully clear that while the world was eager for solutions, the path for progress in hair loss research has been riddled with broken promises. And today's video aims to explore this mystery, the mystery why commitments are not kept in this industry, promises are not fulfilled, and I'm going to shed light on the how and the why of how we find ourselves left in the lurch once again, still searching for answers where none are likely in the near distant future. Hope is a renewable source, but relying solely on hope is now becoming a joke. The entire hair loss industry at times resembles a comedy sketch where everyone is trying to sell you solutions that often don't deliver. Studies have shown that many companies engage in questionable practices to make their products look effective. From cherry-picking participants to designing trials that guarantee positive outcomes, consumers often find themselves at the end of a cruel joke, buying products that promise miracles but leave them with nothing but disappointment. Disappointment and lost ground, lost opportunity, since they could have just tried the workhorse of androgenic alopecia, finasteride. And by not going this path, believing in all these new products, they have lost precious ground. They cannot get the hair back even with finasteride. So this is a disservice that unhindered, unregulated advertisements of breakthroughs that are not yet come done to the psyche of the hair loss sufferer. Researchers in hair loss, medications for hair loss, treatments for hair loss have left their respective companies after having garnered pivotal roles in research, seeking now newer pastures, newer challenges. But we will never be told the real reason of this exodus. And this trend of exodus has added to a sense of instability in the industry as teams disband just as breakthroughs seem to be within reach. Like a reality show where contestants leave mid-season just when things start to heat up. These scientists often move on to new companies with fresh ideas, more importantly, fresh funding, leaving behind projects that seemed so promising at one point. For every breakthrough celebrated, there are countless stories of trials that have fizzled out, products that have failed to meet expectations. So as we navigate this tangled web of hair loss research, hair loss treatments, it's wise to keep our expectations in check and perhaps maintain a sense of humor about it all. After all, laughter that de-stresses might just be the best breakthrough. So here's the timeline of some recently overhyped drugs that went into research, that went into trials, but at the end of the day left us feeling ensnared in a hair-raising saga of unfulfilled promises and dashed hopes. There are two treatments that I am going to discuss and highlight which promised the moon but did not deliver. And number one is Follicum's FOL005. Follicum's FOL005 began its initial phase 1 trials in 2017, exploring its safety and efficacy through intradermal injection. And by January 2018, this research advanced to phase 2 trials, which continued till June 2018. However, the results were underwhelming, leading to a halt in further development for the research. In 2020, a new formulation of Follicum's FOL005 was tested in a phase 2A trial with expectations of significant results. Unfortunately, this trial faced inordinate delays and challenges continuing up to 2021. In May 2023, Follicum announced plans to pursue a phase 2B trial. The new management expressed renewed confidence in the drug's potential. And that is where we are, the ups and downs of hair loss medication, of hair loss research. And number two, Cassiopeia's Breezula, with so much of hype when it was first announced. Cassiopeia's Breezula, designed to counter androgenic alopecia, entered phase 2A trials in 2019. Despite initial optimism, the results were mixed and led to uncertainty about moving forward with the trials. The status is that Breezula is making huge strides in clinical research with so-called encouraging trial outcomes so far. However, its journey to the market is still contingent upon successful completion of phase 3 trials and then the regulatory approvals. So what are the reasons behind all these broken promises, researchers not meeting timelines, nothing becoming of research in medications that were overhyped, getting so much of interest in the hair loss community? What are the reasons behind it all? So number one reason is the complexity of the hair biology. Hair biology is not fully understood. Hair follicles are not just tiny tubes, little factories running on intricate cycles, and science has yet to decode these stages of the cycles fully, despite all these breakthroughs. And we find ourselves standing in the shadow of follicular ignorance. Biologists keep saying we're close, just like someone claiming to have solved the puzzle while they're still missing half the pieces. Targeting DHT isn't straightforward. Treatments like finasteride, dutasteride work for some, do not work for others. And with competing treatments denigrating the drug, creating a fear psychosis, finasteride prescriptions today are not accepted by most patients. Then the funding drought. Let's face it, funding in hair loss does not attract big ticket research funders like cancer does, like diabetes does. Hair loss research has therefore always been the underdog, scraping through with very little funding while pharmaceutical giants choose the bigger fish. And so when money isn't flowing, neither are breakthroughs. Even when researchers come up with something very promising, they must jump through regulatory hoops that are more tight than an FUT stitch. Many potential treatments, therefore, are shelved because they don't meet the gold standard of efficacy or safety. So we're stuck with all the old options sold under new bottles with shinier marketing. And then the expectations trap, which is very significant. Patients expect miracles, not marginal improvements. Honestly, who can blame them? Results fall short. Disappointment ripples through the system. And this discourages companies from investing in hair loss research. Let's be real, who wants to risk the wrath of the internet over one subpar before and after photo? Pharma companies know where the profits are, and it's not in baldness. Diabetes, oncology, or even erectile dysfunction have always taken the cake. Why? Because saving lives, restoring performance, trumps restoring hair. The economics of hair loss treatment remains frustratingly underwhelming for big business. Prevention in hair loss is like locking the barn after the horse has bolted. The treatments that we have today, Minoxidil and Finasteride, are largely not used proactively. They are reactive recourses once baldness has started to show its face. So while you're waiting for the 5-year miracle cure, follicles are slowly and gradually retreating to the land of no return. One size, does it fit all? No, not in hair research. Genetic factors, lifestyle choices, and even stress make outcomes appear like a lottery. What works for one patient might be a total dud for the other. And all the current treatments come with asterisks. Finasteride, risk of low libido, risk of erectile dysfunction, risk of brain fog, and several other side effects misinterpreted by people, and fear factor being created by competitive companies prevent people from going the whole hog in medical treatment that is currently available. And then we come to minoxidil, possible irritation of the scalp, intense shedding before regrowth is seen, and hair transplants, high upfront costs, ethics thrown out of the door, non-medical operators causing various side effects like cobblestoning, overharvesting, unnatural hairlines, infection are becoming more and more common. These side effects often make patients wonder if staying bald isn't the lesser evil. Navigating hair loss treatments today is like walking a tightrope. Patients demand results, but surgeons can only deliver so much. Mismatched expectations do not result in happy outcomes. It's a constant balance to match informed consent, patient autonomy, and the simple truth that everyone is not a candidate for a hair transplant. So that is the talk for the day. Not very gung-ho about research in the hair loss industry today. If you have any questions about particular hair loss treatment research or medications doing the rounds, do let me know and we'll dissect it out. Have a nice day and God bless you.